Beloved friends, today I reveal a truth as old as creation and as powerful as the rising sun. Words shape worlds. The vibration of your voice carries the pattern of your belief, and belief, once spoken with faith, moves unseen forces into motion. Life is not a game of chance. It is a field of law, and the laws of supply, abundance, and prosperity respond to the clear command of your own spirit. Most people plead with life. They beg for what they already possess in potential. They pray with doubt hidden behind their words. Yet the secret lies not in pleading but in commanding, with the authority of one who knows they are already heir to infinite supply. Just as a seed contains the tree, your spoken word contains the manifestation of your good. Let me give you this command. Infinite riches now pour into my life in perfect ways. Speak it aloud with calm assurance. Do not beg, do not hope. Command it with the inner knowing that this is already true. As you say it, picture waves of golden light flowing toward you. Imagine door after door opening effortlessly. Money, opportunities, resources, gifts, all coming to you in beautiful and surprising ways. When you declare this command, you align yourself with the substance of the universe. You are no longer a beggar at the gate of fortune. You are a creator summoning your rightful supply. Your subconscious accepts your spoken word as law, and law always produces after its own kind. Do not say this once and then contradict it with doubt. Speak it daily, speak it with power. Speak it when you wake and before you sleep. As you do, your inner atmosphere changes. Ideas rush in, people call you. Offers appear, paths open. What you need comes swiftly, directly, perfectly. The seen world begins to echo your unseen command. And as large sums of money appear, bless them. Circulate them with joy. Give freely, receive freely. Know that the supply is endless and that you are merely a channel for its flow. In this consciousness, no lack can touch you. So today, take this single command and speak it as one who has authority. Let the words roll off your tongue with certainty. Let your heart thrill with the knowing of your own power. Money responds to consciousness. Supply responds to command. And the magic you once dreamed of becomes the reality you live. Words spoken with conviction are not just sounds traveling through the air. They are creative forces that carve patterns in the invisible substance of the universe. Every syllable carries vibration, and vibration is the secret language through which form is shaped and reality is directed. When you speak with authority and faith, you impress the deep layers of your subconscious mind, and the subconscious, like rich soil, grows whatever seed is planted in it. In this way, every thought and every spoken word becomes a command to life itself. Many people underestimate this power because they see only the surface of things and believe their words disappear into the air. But in truth, words are living currents of energy and magnetism. They build or they destroy, they call forth or they repel, they bless or they bind. The person who begins to speak with deliberate intention steps into the same creative role that governs nature and stars. In this realm, you are not a spectator. You are a creator with a voice that echoes through infinite law. When you speak abundance into your life with true conviction, you stop asking the universe for favors and instead activate its natural flow through you. Conviction is the difference between idle chatter and divine command. Conviction comes from inner knowing, from recognizing your union with an infinite power that is always present and always ready to fulfill the pattern you supply. You cannot whisper and expect thunderous results. You must speak as one who knows their word is law. This is why ancient mystics, sages, and spiritual teachers taught affirmations, decrees, and spoken prayers. They knew the creative force is ignited by the spoken word backed by belief. When you align your words with your desire and fuel them with unwavering certainty, you become a magnet for what you pronounce. The very cells of your body respond to your speech. The environment around you rearranges itself according to the inner atmosphere you maintain. To say, I am rich, without conviction may do little. But to say, infinite riches flow to me now, with a deep, resonant certainty shifts your whole being. You begin to act differently, expect differently, and life reflects that shift back to you. This is why your command must be more than a wish or a hope. It must be a decree, a statement of spiritual authority. You are not trying to convince a reluctant universe. You are issuing instructions to a responsive, intelligent substance that awaits your direction. Your word is like a blueprint handed to a cosmic architect. The clearer and more detailed the blueprint, the more swiftly and perfectly the building appears. If your word is scattered, doubting, or self-contradicting, the results will be the same: scattered, doubting, and self-contradicting. But if your word is clear, steady, and unwavering, the manifestation will match. The universe never fails to respond to consistency. This is why the discipline of speaking affirmations and commands daily is so powerful. Every repetition strengthens the groove in consciousness, until your mind naturally vibrates in harmony with the wealth, health, and happiness you decree. The spoken word also bypasses many hidden doubts that may lurk in thought alone. When you speak aloud, you engage the breath, the voice, the ears, the nervous system. You create a multi-sensory ritual that anchors your intent into the physical world. This is far more potent than silently thinking your desires. It also sends a signal to your subconscious that this matter is serious, that you are claiming it with your whole being. The subconscious then sets about altering your perceptions, decisions, and opportunities to match your new command. Ideas appear seemingly out of nowhere. You feel prompted to act at just the right time. People come into your life as if by magic. But in truth, it is your spoken word opening the gates. Speaking with conviction also aligns you with a higher frequency of gratitude and expectation. Gratitude is a silent companion to your word. When you give thanks as though your desire is already fulfilled, you wrap your command in a vibration of completion. Expectation keeps you alert for the channels through which your supply will come. Together, gratitude and expectation act like wings that carry your spoken word swiftly to its destination. Without them, your word may still work, but with them, it works with grace and ease. This is why some people seem to manifest effortlessly. They are simply speaking and feeling from a place of already having. As you continue to speak words of abundance, you gradually dissolve old patterns of lack and limitation. These patterns were also built by words, your own or others, that you accepted without question. Each command of wealth, prosperity, and supply reprograms your inner world until the outer world must reflect it. You cannot speak your beliefs, but you can use your words to transform your beliefs over time. This is the alchemy of the spoken word. It turns fear into faith, doubt into knowing, poverty into plenty. And once your inner conviction becomes unshakable, your spoken command becomes irresistible. Imagine yourself as a conductor of an unseen orchestra. Each word you speak sends a signal to a section of the orchestra. Strings, winds, percussion. At first, the sound may be disjointed, but as you continue, with focus and intention, the music becomes coherent, powerful, and beautiful. This is what happens when you persist in speaking your abundance command with conviction. Eventually, the entire universe plays in harmony with your declared theme. Opportunities, ideas, people, and resources assemble themselves to match the music you are directing. Conviction also comes from understanding your own worthiness. Many people speak words of abundance, but secretly feel unworthy to receive. This creates an inner conflict that weakens the command. By affirming your own worthiness, by knowing you are a beloved expression of infinite life, you erase the inner barriers to receiving. Your spoken command then travels unimpeded into the invisible and returns with multiplied blessings. The key is to feel as though you already own what you desire and to speak from that state. This is not arrogance, it is alignment with truth. It is important, too, to guard your speech throughout the day. Speaking with conviction once in the morning, and then complaining of lack the rest of the day is like planting seeds and then digging them up. Be mindful of casual words. They, too, are commands, though weak ones. Each time you catch yourself speaking limitation, gently replace it with an affirmation of abundance. Over time, your habitual speech becomes a steady stream of creative power working in your favor. Finally, remember that speaking with conviction is a practice. At first, it may feel forced. Doubt may whisper. Results may seem slow. But persistence transforms everything. Every time you speak your command with faith, you strengthen an invisible bridge between you and your good. Eventually, the bridge becomes a highway, and your good rushes to you. This is how you move from hoping to knowing, from waiting to receiving, from wishing to commanding. Your word is your wand. your scepter, your instrument of creation. By speaking with conviction, you become the artist of your own abundance, painting your life with words that hold power, authority, and unstoppable creative force. True prosperity begins with commanding, not pleading, because the universe is not a capricious force handing out blessings at random, but an orderly system responding to vibration, focus, and certainty. When you beg or plead for money, abundance, or opportunities, you are affirming with your own energy that you do not yet have them, and that you doubt your power to call them forth. This energy of lack reverberates back into your life and multiplies itself. But when you command, you are taking your rightful position as a co-creator with the infinite. You are announcing with your whole being that abundance is already yours in essence, and you are merely summoning it into form. This shift from pleading to commanding is not about arrogance, but about alignment with truth. It recognizes that all supply exists now in the unseen, and you need only give it permission to appear in your experience. Commanding begins with an inner realization of your own identity. You are not a beggar at the doors of fate, you are an heir to infinite supply, a conduit of creative life. Every great teacher of metaphysics has taught that the outer world mirrors the inner state. When your inner state is weak and doubtful, your outer conditions reflect weakness and doubt. When your inner state is confident and commanding, your outer conditions rearrange to match your command. This is why a simple change of consciousness produces dramatic results without external struggle. By standing in your power and declaring abundance as already present, you activate unseen currents that rush to fulfill your decree. The act of commanding is not a loud or forceful demand. It is a calm, centered authority. A commander does not shout from desperation, but speaks with quiet certainty, knowing their word is obeyed. You too must develop this quiet certainty. Instead of saying, "Please send me money," say, "Infinite supply flows to me now." Instead of saying, "I hope something works out," say, "All doors open for me now." These words are statements of law, not pleas for favor. They create a template in the unseen substance of life, which then hardens into form. Your subconscious accepts these statements as reality and sets into motion countless, unseen connections to make them so. Commanding also requires that you release fear and distrust. Fear is the energy of contraction, and it suffocates the flow of abundance. Commanding is the energy of expansion, openness, and receiving. The more you can speak your command from a place of relaxation and trust, the more easily the universe can comply. If you notice tension, anxiety, or urgency as you speak, take a moment to breathe deeply, center yourself, and return to calm authority. Remember that you are not trying to convince a reluctant power, but activating a responsive law. This law is as dependable as gravity. When you speak the words of command, you are simply flipping the switch to allow what already exists to flow to you. Another aspect of commanding is clarity. A clear command produces a clear result. A vague command produces a vague result. Be precise with your words. If you want financial freedom, command it in precise language. I am now financially free. Large sums of money flow to me easily and continually. If you want a specific opportunity, declare it. The perfect opportunity appears for me now in perfect ways. By stating your command with specificity, you give the universal substance a blueprint to work with. This blueprint then attracts circumstances, people, and ideas that match your description. Commanding also requires consistency. One clear command spoken once can have power, but a clear command spoken daily with faith becomes unstoppable. Each repetition deepens the groove in your consciousness until your inner atmosphere is saturated with the vibration of your command. This steady vibration then compels the outer world to match it. Just as a sculptor chips away at a block of marble to reveal the statue within, you chip away at doubt and limitation by continually affirming your command until your life reveals the form of your desire. True prosperity flows naturally when you command, because you are operating from a consciousness of sufficiency. You are no longer bound by the illusion of lack. You know that all the wealth you could ever need already exists in potential, waiting for your summons. This consciousness lifts you above competition, fear, and struggle. You no longer chase money or opportunities, you attract them. People sense your inner authority and respond with respect and generosity. Situations unfold in your favor without strain. Synchronicities multiply. This is the effortless magic of commanding rather than pleading. Commanding also awakens creativity within you. As you declare abundance, your mind begins to receive new ideas, strategies, and inspirations to manifest your command. Opportunities you never considered before appear. You feel guided to take actions that lead to breakthroughs. Because you are commanding from a state of inner certainty, you trust these nudges and act on them with confidence. This union of inner command and inspired action produces extraordinary results. You realize you are not simply waiting for miracles but participating in them as a co-creator. Another vital element of commanding is emotional alignment. Words alone are not enough if they are contradicted by a vibration of fear, doubt, or unworthiness. As you speak your command, feel the reality of what you are declaring. See it in your imagination. Feel the relief, the joy, the freedom. The universe responds to vibration even more than to words. So when your vibration matches your command, manifestation accelerates. This emotional alignment transforms your command from a mental exercise into a magnetic force. It is also essential to bless what you already have as you command more. Gratitude keeps your energy open and flowing. It assures the universe that you are ready to receive greater good and can handle it wisely. As you command larger sums of money, bless the smaller sums you already have. Bless every bill you pay, every coin you find, every gift you receive. This attitude multiplies your blessings and harmonizes your inner state with abundance. True prosperity that begins with commanding extends beyond money. It includes health, relationships, creativity, and spiritual fulfillment. When you learn to command supply, you also learn to command harmony, peace, and joy. You become a living magnet for all good things. This is why commanding is not about greed, but about realizing your full potential as an expression of infinite life. It is about stepping into your birthright of abundance and allowing it to flow through you to bless the world. The practice of commanding also dissolves the old habit of feeling powerless. Many people have been taught since childhood to wait for outside rescue, to hope for luck, to plead for favors. Commanding reverses this pattern. It trains your mind to recognize that the power is already within you. You are not at the mercy of external forces. You are the point through which the infinite expresses itself. Each time you command your good, you strengthen this recognition. Over time, your entire outlook shifts from victimhood to mastery, from scarcity to sufficiency, from doubt to knowing. Commanding also invites you to live in integrity with your word. As you recognize the creative power of your speech, you become more careful with all your words, not just your affirmations. You refrain from gossip, criticism, and self-deprecation because you understand these two are commands that shape your reality. You begin to speak more life, more love, more abundance into every area. This alignment magnifies the power of your prosperity commands and creates a field of high vibration around you that naturally attracts blessings. The shift from pleading to commanding is one of the most profound changes you can make in your spiritual and material life. It signals to your subconscious that you are no longer operating from lack but from authority. It tunes your vibration to the frequency of abundance. It activates the universal law of supply to flow through you. And it transforms your self-image from a seeker of good to a commander of good. When you stand in this consciousness, large sums of money, opportunities, and support appear as if by magic, because you have aligned yourself with the way life truly works. The single command, "Infinite riches now pour into my life in perfect ways," aligns you with universal law, because it is more than a phrase, it is a vibrational key that unlocks the invisible storehouse of supply. Each word carries a frequency. When spoken with intention and belief, this command transmits a clear signal to the infinite field of energy from which all forms arise. By declaring that infinite riches are pouring into your life, you are affirming abundance as a present reality, rather than a distant hope. You are telling your subconscious mind, your energetic field, and the responsive intelligence of the universe to recognize, assemble, and deliver the channels through which money, opportunities, and support can appear. In the unseen realm, cause precedes effect, and this command acts as a cause, a seed planted in fertile soil, destined to sprout in visible ways. When you speak the command, Infinite riches now pour into my life in perfect ways. You are stepping into a consciousness of sufficiency. You are announcing that supply is infinite, and that it belongs to you by right of your spiritual identity. This removes the constriction and tension of lack, which are the main barriers to manifestation. Many people make requests from a state of need, and thereby reinforce their sense of separation from abundance. But when you make a command from a state of knowing, you close the gap between desire and fulfillment. The subconscious mind accepts the spoken word as truth, and the universe responds by rearranging circumstances to reflect that truth. This alignment with universal law is like stepping into a powerful current. Once you are in the current, it carries you effortlessly toward your destination. Each time you repeat this command, you strengthen a mental and energetic pathway. It becomes easier to imagine abundance, to feel it, to expect it. Your nervous system begins to relax into a sense of already having. Your decisions shift subtly toward prosperity. You notice opportunities where before you saw obstacles. People feel drawn to you because your energy communicates receptivity and generosity. This is the subtle yet profound effect of aligning with universal law through a single command. The outer changes begin with inner resonance. The command acts as a tuning fork, bringing your entire being into harmony with the frequency of riches. Infinite riches is a deliberate phrase, because the universe is not limited by numbers, channels, or methods. It contains infinite ideas, infinite resources, infinite pathways to your good. By affirming infinite, you erase artificial limits and give the universe full permission to deliver beyond your expectations. Now, anchors the command in the present moment. It bypasses the postponing tendencies of the mind and declares that the good you desire is unfolding at this very instant. Par evokes an image of abundance flowing continuously, generously, without trickle or restriction. Into my life personalizes the command so that the universal supply becomes a personal experience. In perfect ways safeguards the manifestation so that it comes in harmony, ease, and appropriateness, benefiting you and others alike. Each component of this command is a carefully crafted vibration, and together they create a powerful declaration of wealth and harmony. By aligning with universal law through this command, you also activate intuitive guidance. As you say the words, you may begin to feel nudges to take certain actions, call certain people, or explore new ideas. These are the universe's ways of steering you toward the channels of your supply. Because you are aligned and receptive, you will recognize and act on these nudges with confidence. This is how the invisible becomes visible. The command is not about waiting passively, but about becoming a magnet for inspired action and synchronicity. Speaking the command consistently also transforms your self-image. You stop seeing yourself as someone hoping for money, and start seeing yourself as someone through whom infinite riches naturally flow. This change of self-image is critical, because your outer life can only rise to the level of your inner identity. By declaring that infinite riches pour into your life, you are essentially rewriting your identity as a prosperous, supported, and favored individual. This identity then shapes your habits, choices, and attitudes to match. People sense this confidence and respond with trust, offers, and generosity. Opportunities find their way to you as if you have become a beacon. Another profound aspect of this command is its ability to neutralize negative beliefs about money. Many people carry unconscious programs of scarcity, unworthiness, or fear about wealth. By repeatedly affirming, "Infinite riches now pour into my life in perfect ways," you overwrite these old programs with a new, empowering belief. The subconscious mind cannot hold contradictory ideas indefinitely. The stronger, more frequently impressed idea eventually dominates. As the new belief of infinite supply takes root, the old beliefs dissolve. This inner shift is often accompanied by external evidence of increasing abundance. Unexpected money, gifts, opportunities, or a general feeling of being supported by life. The command also has a ripple effect beyond finances. Because it carries the vibration of abundance, it begins to influence all areas of your life: health, relationships, creativity, and spiritual growth. Infinite riches include not just money but ideas, insights, solutions, and experiences that enrich your whole being. As your consciousness of riches expands, you may find yourself more generous, more creative, more confident. You become a channel for wealth to flow not only to you but through you, blessing others in the process. This circulation of giving and receiving amplifies the flow even further. Universal law favors circulation. What you give returns multiplied. To deepen the power of the command, it is helpful to speak it aloud with feeling, preferably in a quiet space where you can focus entirely. Breathe deeply, center yourself, and then speak the words slowly, imagining golden light pouring into your life from every direction. See your bank accounts, your home, your relationships, your projects, all infused with this golden flow. Feel gratitude as though it is already accomplished. This visualization combined with the spoken command impresses your subconscious more powerfully than words alone. It also aligns your emotional vibration with your verbal declaration, creating a coherent signal to the universe. Consistency is key. One command spoken once may plant a seed, but repeated commands nurture that seed until it blossoms. Make it a daily practice, morning and evening, to speak the command with conviction. Over time, you will notice shifts in your mood, your expectations, and your external circumstances. Opportunities that once seemed impossible become normal. Money that once trickled begins to flow. Ideas that once eluded you arrive fully formed. This is the natural result of aligning with universal law through a clear, potent command. It is also important to guard your thoughts and words throughout the day. If you affirm, "Infinite riches now pour into my life," but then spend hours worrying about bills or complaining about lack, you create mixed signals. This does not mean you must be perfect, but it does mean you should cultivate a general atmosphere of trust and abundance. When you catch yourself thinking or speaking lack, gently return to your command. Over time, this practice becomes easier and more automatic, and your dominant vibration stabilizes at abundance. This command carries a hidden invitation to embody generosity and circulation. As you receive more, share more. Give with joy, knowing that what you send out returns multiplied. Bless your money, bless your bills, bless every exchange of value. This keeps the flow fresh and alive, prevents stagnation, and aligns you even more deeply with universal law. In this way, the command not only increases your own supply, but also makes you a conduit of good in the world. By using this single command, you train your mind to think in terms of limitless supply, rather than limited resources. This mindset shift alone can unlock creativity and opportunity you never imagined. When you truly believe that infinite riches are pouring into your life, you begin to approach challenges differently. Instead of shrinking in fear, you look for solutions knowing they exist. Instead of seeing competition, you see collaboration. Instead of feeling left out, you feel invited. This psychological shift is itself a form of wealth, because it makes you resourceful, confident, and attractive to opportunities. Ultimately, the power of this command lies in its ability to harmonize your conscious intent, your subconscious programming, and the universal law of supply. When all three are aligned, manifestation is natural, swift, and often surprising in its elegance. You may find large sums of money appearing in ways you could never have planned. Unexpected checks, forgiven debts, lucrative opportunities, sudden windfalls. These events are not coincidences but responses to your consistent, confident command. As you continue this practice, the line between the mystical and the practical dissolves, and you live in a steady flow of provision, creativity, and joy. Consistency and unwavering faith in the spoken word transform your inner and outer world, because repetition builds belief, belief builds vibration, and vibration builds reality. When you speak an affirmation or a command once with doubt still in your heart, the seed may land, but the soil may not yet be ready. But when you speak the same command day after day with determination and confidence, you prepare the soil, water the seed, and give it sunlight until it must sprout. This is the spiritual law of growth applied to your words. Every time you repeat a statement of abundance, you carve a deeper groove in your consciousness, replacing old patterns of fear and scarcity with new patterns of trust and plenty. Just as a stream carves its way through rock over time, your spoken words, repeated with unwavering faith, carve new channels in your mind and in the invisible substance of the universe, until the flow of good becomes unstoppable. Consistency is the great amplifier. Many people try affirmations or prosperity commands for a few days, see little change, and stop. But the deeper patterns of thought and emotion that have been in place for years cannot always be replaced overnight. Consistency acts like a sculptor's chisel, patiently shaping your inner reality until it matches your desired outer reality. Each spoken word is a stroke of the chisel. As the form takes shape within, the corresponding conditions take shape without. This is why the practice of speaking your words of power morning and night can be so transformative. It gradually saturates your subconscious mind until your new beliefs become automatic and effortless. When this happens, you no longer have to push or strain. Your new inner state calls forth matching outer conditions naturally, just as a magnet draws iron filings. Unwavering faith is the companion of consistency. If you repeat your affirmations but secretly doubt their power, you are sending mixed signals to your subconscious and to the universal law. Faith acts as the glue that binds your words to their manifestation. Faith is a calm knowing that your word is law, and that what you speak must come to pass. This does not mean you will never feel doubt or fear, but it does mean you choose not to let doubt dictate your speech. Instead, you persist in speaking your command with assurance until your faith becomes unshakable. This persistence dissolves doubt like sunlight dissolves mist. Over time, faith becomes your natural state, and your words carry more and more creative power. The transformation of your inner world begins with the gentle, yet relentless, repetition of your chosen command or affirmation. Your inner dialogue shifts from criticism and lack to encouragement and abundance. Your emotions shift from anxiety to trust, from impatience to calm expectancy. You find yourself daydreaming of positive outcomes rather than rehearsing worst-case scenarios. You start to feel supported by life rather than at odds with it. This is the subtle alchemy of consistent, faith-filled speech. It is not just about saying words but about reprogramming the emotional and mental patterns that govern your experience of reality. As your inner state stabilizes in abundance, your outer life begins to reflect that stability with surprising opportunities, unexpected income, supportive relationships, and a general sense of well-being. Consistency and faith also train your nervous system to expect abundance. When you first begin affirmations, your nervous system may still be in survival mode, skeptical and tense. But as you repeat your words of power every day, your body begins to relax into the feeling of safety and sufficiency. This physiological shift opens you to intuition, creativity, and inspired action, all of which are essential for manifesting prosperity. Your mind stops scanning for threats and starts noticing possibilities. You become more resilient, more confident, and more magnetic to the good you seek. This is how the inner world changes first, creating a fertile environment for the outer world to blossom. In the realm of spoken words, consistency also builds momentum. Each repetition adds energy to the thought form you are creating. Over time, this thought form becomes a powerful attractor, drawing into your life the conditions that match its vibration. You can think of it as charging a battery. Each time you speak with faith, you add a charge. When the battery is full, the manifestation appears in the physical world, sometimes in ways that seem miraculous. Without consistency, the battery never fully charges, and the manifestation remains weak or incomplete. This is why daily practice is so important. It keeps the energy flowing steadily until your desired reality is strong enough to materialize. Unwavering faith also means detaching from the how and when of manifestation. When you truly believe in the power of your spoken word, you do not have to micromanage the outcome. You simply hold your command, trust the universal law, and allow events to unfold in perfect timing. This trust keeps your vibration high and prevents the frustration and impatience that can block your good. As you persist with your affirmations, you develop a serene confidence that everything you have spoken is on its way, even if you cannot yet see it. This serenity is a magnet for swift and harmonious manifestations. Another powerful aspect of consistency and faith is that they neutralize negative self-talk. Most people have spent years, even decades, reinforcing messages of lack, fear, and unworthiness. These messages operate as silent commands, shaping reality without our conscious consent. By consistently speaking words of abundance and faith, you overwrite these old commands. It is like updating the operating system of your mind. With enough repetition, the old programming loses its grip, and the new programming becomes dominant. This is how you change not just your thoughts but your entire identity. You begin to see yourself as prosperous, capable, and deserving, and life responds to this new self-image. Consistency also deepens your relationship with the unseen. As you speak your affirmations daily, you begin to feel a sense of communion with the universal intelligence that responds to you. You notice coincidences, synchronicities, and intuitive nudges that guide you toward your desires. You feel less alone and more supported. This strengthens your faith even further, creating a positive feedback loop. The more you speak with faith, the more evidence you see of your power. The more evidence you see, the stronger your faith becomes. This cycle accelerates your manifestations and builds an unshakable foundation of trust in the process. As your inner world transforms through consistency and faith, your outer behavior naturally changes. You take bolder actions, make wiser decisions, and handle challenges with grace. People sense your confidence and respond with cooperation and generosity. Opportunities appear where none existed before. Money flows from unexpected sources. This is not because you are forcing reality, but because your new vibration is attracting, matching experiences. You have tuned your inner radio to the frequency of abundance. And now the outer world broadcasts that station back to you. Another dimension of consistency and faith is their ability to sustain you during temporary appearances of lack or delay. When you are consistent, you do not abandon your practice just because results have not yet appeared. When you have faith, you continue speaking your command, even when circumstances seem contrary. This steadfastness carries you through the gestation period of manifestation. It proves to your subconscious and to the universal law that you are serious, committed, and aligned. This unwavering stance often precedes breakthroughs, as if the universe was testing your conviction before releasing the floodgates of supply. Consistency and faith also create a sacred rhythm in your daily life. When you set aside time each morning and evening to speak your words of power, you anchor yourself in a field of calm authority. This rhythm steadies your mind, soothes your emotions, and keeps you aligned with your intention throughout the day. It becomes a spiritual practice, not just a prosperity technique. Over time, this practice infuses every aspect of your life with a sense of purpose, harmony, and direction. You wake up each day feeling empowered rather than reactive, creative rather than constrained. This steady practice also trains you to be deliberate with all your words, not just your affirmations. You become more aware of casual speech, idle complaints, and unconscious negativity. You start to guard your words like precious seeds, planting only what you want to grow. This discipline amplifies the power of your affirmations, because your entire verbal output begins to resonate with abundance, positivity, and faith. You are no longer undermining your own commands with contradictory speech. Your words become a unified force directing your life toward prosperity. Finally, the combination of consistency and unwavering faith reshapes your consciousness so completely that prosperity becomes your natural state, rather than an occasional experience. You stop thinking of wealth as something to attract, and start seeing it as something to express. You no longer fear loss, because you know the source is infinite and always available. You no longer cling to specific outcomes, because you trust the process. This inner freedom is the true wealth, and it inevitably produces outer wealth as its reflection. Through consistent, faith-filled speech, you become a living demonstration of the principle that thoughts and words create reality, and you discover that by aligning your inner dialogue with abundance, you transform not only your circumstances, but also your sense of self, your relationship to life, and your ability to channel infinite good into the world. Gratitude and circulation of money maintain an endless flow of wealth and opportunities, because wealth is not a static pile to be hoarded, but a living stream that must move to remain fresh. When you receive money, gifts, or resources and immediately give thanks, you affirm that you are connected to an infinite source, rather than a finite stash. Gratitude shifts your vibration from fear of loss to joy of abundance. This joy amplifies your magnetic field, drawing even more blessings to you. Circulation then becomes the natural expression of gratitude, allowing money to flow through you to bless others, pay for goods and services, support causes, or invest in your own growth. Each time you circulate money joyfully, you tell the universe you trust it to replenish you. This trust keeps the flow open and prevents stagnation, scarcity, and fear. Gratitude is one of the highest frequencies you can embody. It turns whatever you have into more, because it recognizes the presence of good even before it multiplies. When you bless every bill you pay, every purchase you make, every gift you give, you infuse that money with positive energy. Instead of resenting expenses or clinging tightly to your funds, you see each transaction as part of a greater flow of prosperity. This mindset aligns you with universal law, which favors circulation over stagnation. Just as blood must flow to nourish the body and water must flow to stay pure, money must flow to maintain its life-giving power. When you give thanks and allow money to circulate, you enter a rhythm that mirrors nature itself, and nature responds by replenishing you. Circulation of money also breaks the mental pattern of scarcity. Scarcity thinking says, if I give this away, I'll have less. Abundance thinking says, as I give, I make room for more to flow in. By practicing circulation, you create a vacuum that draws in new supply. The universe abhors a vacuum. Whenever you create one by giving, it rushes to fill it, often with more than you gave. This is not a superstition, but an energetic principle. Your openness signals confidence in the infinite source, and that confidence is rewarded with increased flow. The more you circulate with joy, the more natural it becomes, until you live in a constant loop of giving and receiving. Gratitude also shifts your focus from lack to plenty. When you are thankful for every dollar, opportunity, and blessing, you notice how supported you already are. This noticing itself is powerful, because where your attention goes, energy flows. By appreciating what you have, you magnetize more of the same. Your brain begins to filter for abundance rather than shortage. You see opportunities where before you saw obstacles. People respond to your grateful energy with kindness and generosity. Gratitude turns your entire life into fertile soil for new blessings to sprout. Circulation of money likewise strengthens your sense of connection to others. When you pay for a service, tip someone generously, support a friend's project, or donate to a cause, you participate in a web of mutual support. This web is the true economy of life, far deeper than dollars and cents. It reflects the spiritual truth that we are all connected, and that prosperity grows when shared. Each time you circulate money, you affirm this interconnectedness and help maintain the flow for everyone. This cooperative energy then circles back to you, often multiplied in ways you could not predict. When you combine gratitude with circulation, you create a powerful prosperity practice. For example, before you pay a bill, hold it in your hands and say, "Thank you for the service this represents, and thank you for the supply that pays it." When you give a gift or make a donation, say, "This money blesses the receiver and returns to me multiplied." These simple practices infuse your financial life with a sense of sacredness rather than anxiety. Money becomes not just a medium of exchange but a carrier of blessing. This change in perception can transform your relationship with money from stress to joy, from fear to trust, from limitation to expansion. Another important aspect of gratitude and circulation is releasing attachment to how money comes or goes. Gratitude trains you to trust that however supply appears, it is for your good. Circulation trains you to trust that however money leaves, it creates space for more. Together they build a deep sense of security that is not dependent on bank balances or external conditions. This security is the soil in which true wealth grows. Because you are no longer gripped by fear, you can make wiser financial decisions, take inspired risks, and recognize opportunities without desperation. This relaxed confidence attracts even more supply. Practicing gratitude also rewires your subconscious beliefs about money. Many people have inherited ideas that money is hard to get, scarce, or corrupting. By daily giving thanks for every form of income, support, and abundance, you overwrite these old programs with new ones, that money is abundant, easily available, and inherently good when used with wisdom. The subconscious then works to bring your external world into alignment with these new beliefs, creating experiences of greater flow and ease. Circulation reinforces this reprogramming by putting your new beliefs into action. You act like someone who trusts the flow, and the flow responds accordingly. Gratitude and circulation also expand your capacity to receive. When you are thankful for small amounts, you signal readiness for larger amounts. When you circulate freely what you have, you signal readiness to handle more. This expansion of capacity is essential for sustainable wealth. Without it, sudden increases of money can feel overwhelming and slip away. With it, every increase feels natural and manageable, because your inner state has already adjusted. This is why so many prosperity teachings emphasize gratitude and giving. They prepare your consciousness to hold and steward greater abundance. As you practice gratitude, you will likely notice your desires becoming more refined. You shift from craving money as a symbol of security to appreciating it as a tool for expression, creativity, and contribution. You become less attached to accumulating for its own sake, and more interested in circulating wealth to create experiences, support causes, and uplift others. This shift aligns you with the deeper currents of universal law, which favor flow, creativity, and generosity. Because your intentions become purer, your manifestations become faster and more harmonious. Circulation also brings unexpected benefits beyond money. It strengthens your intuition, opens your heart, and deepens your relationships. It teaches you to trust life, to release control, and to experience joy in the act of giving. These qualities make you a magnet not only for financial abundance, but for opportunities, friendships, and spiritual growth. People are drawn to those who give freely and gratefully, because such people radiate safety, openness, and confidence. This social and energetic magnetism can lead to career breakthroughs, partnerships, and experiences that no amount of hoarding could create. Gratitude transforms even challenging financial situations. When you bless a debt instead of resenting it, you change its energy. When you thank your creditors for the trust they placed in you, you open channels for repayment and resolution. When you express gratitude for a financial setback as a hidden blessing or lesson, you neutralize its power to harm you and invite solutions. This attitude of gratitude keeps you on the frequency of abundance even in times of challenge, ensuring that opportunities for recovery and growth appear more quickly. In the same way, circulation can transform your sense of identity. Each time you give, you affirm to yourself that you are abundant enough to share. This reinforces a self-image of plenty, which then attracts more plenty. Even small acts of giving can produce a powerful psychological shift from scarcity to sufficiency. Over time, this shift becomes a habit, and your entire financial life reorganizes itself around a steady, generous flow rather than a fearful grasp. Together, gratitude and circulation create a self-sustaining prosperity loop. Gratitude draws in supply, circulation sends it out with blessing, and the universe returns it multiplied. This loop can continue indefinitely, growing larger and richer over time. It mirrors the cycles of nature. Inhale and exhale, give and receive, ebb and flow. By aligning yourself with this natural rhythm, you step out of the struggle of scarcity and into the dance of abundance. The more you trust the rhythm, the more effortless your prosperity becomes. This practice also reveals that true wealth is not merely about accumulation, but about stewardship. As you circulate money with gratitude, you become a channel for the universe to express its generosity. You discover that you are not just a receiver but a conduit, and this realization can be profoundly fulfilling. You feel part of something larger than yourself, an infinite flow of good that blesses everyone it touches. In this state, wealth ceases to be a source of anxiety and becomes a source of joy, creativity, and purpose. By making gratitude and circulation your daily habit, you invite a steady stream of opportunities, support, and resources. You train your mind to expect supply rather than fear lack. You train your heart to trust the flow rather than cling to control. You create an energetic signature that attracts people and situations aligned with abundance. Over time, you build a life that reflects this signature. A life of financial ease, creative expression, and generous contribution. This is the natural outcome of living in harmony with the law of gratitude and circulation. And it allows the flow of wealth to continue expanding without end. Always renewing itself, always finding new ways to bless and be blessed.